Dear Diary, my therapist said that I need to start reflecting. So I'm writing in this journal. That's how you reflect, right? Let's talk about it. Hi, my name is Yvette, and I am a certified social and emotional intelligence coach. And on this channel, we talk all things emotional intelligence. And today, we are talking about one of my favorite pastimes. Don't judge me, but it's reflection. I love to do it. Reflection is something that people talk a lot about. You hear a lot about it from the standpoint of like therapy and just really trying to work on your being a better version of yourself. And it oftentimes starts with reflection. And so today I wanted to just kind of take a journey down the path of how do you reflect? Again, with emotional intelligence, who teaches us any of this stuff, right? So oftentimes we have to figure it out on our own, but that's what our channel is here for, to help all of us continue to develop the skill, one of the most valuable skills, emotional intelligence, okay? So with that being said, reflection, it's an opportunity. I want to start there with that word. It is an opportunity for you to pause and look at all the things, your triggers, your behaviors, the things that you said, the things that you didn't say, your nonverbals, basically how you showed up, past tense, because it's likely already happened, thus you're reflecting on something that's already happened. So you're looking back to see how you showed up and how others showed up. That would be like a working definition that I would give you. But you get to see all the things when you reflect. You get to look formally as like a intentional examination. I really like that. Intentional examination. Informally, I would say that reflection is an opportunity for you to reflect on how you showed up and how others did too. Emotional intelligence has a 4-quadrant model. And on the left side is all about self, which is the core, and everything is built on from self. On the right side is all about the world. Social awareness, how you read the room and engage and feel the climates. And relationship management, my favorite, is all about how you engage with other people. Reflection hangs out in the self-awareness quadrant. However, it pays dividends in all the other quadrants, because when you are self-aware, you can manage yourself. You can often be more socially aware and understand the environments that you're in and pick up on the signs and the climate, as I like to say. And then you can use all that information to have meaningful, mutually fulfilling relationships. Simple, right? Nope, never, but that's why we do this wonderful work. Okay, emotional intelligence is a difference maker. So now that we have a working definition of what reflection is, I want to talk like really quickly about the benefits of it, right? So in reflecting, you have an opportunity to understand yourself, understand the ins and outs of you. If you can pause long enough to do that intentional examination, right? I have a video on self-examination. I would love for you to check that out. It's really powerful stuff, okay? But we're talking about reflection here. Self-examination is a part of reflecting, looking at yourself. But when you're reflecting, you're looking at the whole experience, not just you. You start with you, but you're also looking at other players, other people that were involved in the situation, the environment, the circumstances, all of the things, okay? So first, you get to understand yourself. Second, you get to start to look deeper, that self-examination, and see what role did you play in any situation, at work, in your personal relationships, a chance encounter. You didn't expect something to happen. What role did you play in that? So you have an opportunity to identify your role. The third thing is you have an opportunity to take a step towards intentional growth. So there's a chance for you to grow from this reflection. So it's not in vain, right? It's not, I just journal because my therapist told me to, like I was kind of poking fun at the beginning, but hey, I have an opportunity to grow, which is a gift. Remember, emotional intelligence is a difference maker. So as you do this work, you will see the growth over time, okay? So those are the 3 benefits. If you needed to be convinced that reflection is valuable, hopefully those things helped. Remember, nobody taught us this stuff, so we're figuring it out as we go. Okay, so now I want to talk a little bit about how one might go about reflecting. Okay, so you told me all the benefits. I'm interested. I like to try it and have that intentional examination. But what I'm unsure about is how do I actually start? Like, what's the first step? So the first thing you want to do is to pause, slow down, and revisit the situation. Pause. That's the first step. That means you have to be intentional about quiet time. It's difficult to reflect when there's so much outside noise all around you, or you have competing thoughts. When you say, hey, I'm gonna pause and reflect on this situation, you are being intentional about stopping any other attention grabber and giving this particular situation, whatever situation you decide, your undivided attention. So you have to pause and reflect, right? But in order to do that, you need to be intentional about that time. So you want to slow down and pause and start to revisit that situation honestly, okay? The second step is that you want to look in the mirror, figuratively or literally. How did I show up? What did I do? What did I say? What didn't I say? How did my body respond? What was my tone? These are questions that you can ask yourself. What is my contribution to this situation? What would I change in the future? These are some of the things that you can start to think about. So it's a series of questions, self-examination. You're asking yourself these questions and you want to answer them honestly. If you can't be honest with yourself, who can you be honest with? And remember, you don't want to cheat yourself out of this experience because the purpose of this, the outcome of this is to grow. The third and final step for this video is to identify a way forward. So looking ahead, what would you like to do differently in the future? If you know that you historically cut people off when they are talking, what will you do in the next situation, interaction with this specific person or just in general to ensure you don't do that? I would likely bring some tape with me and I might put it over my mouth. That's how intentional I want to be about changing this particular habit. That's one example. But in the opportunity to self-examine, you have an opportunity to see where you can make changes in the future. What if it's not about you? What if it's about someone else? What if you need to set a boundary or you need to ask for changed behavior? In order for you to do that, you want to have a plan moving forward. You want to be intentional through and through. Okay, so those are 3 steps to get you started. Don't forget to check out the self-examination video. I think it's really powerful stuff, okay? On this channel, we like to offer a challenge. So my challenge for you, always in the next 3 days, is to reflect. You can reflect in the car on the way home from work or to work. You can reflect in the shower. You can reflect when you get into bed at night before you go to sleep. Or you may find that 15 to 20 minutes during your lunch break. You might have to do trial and error to see what works best, but I invite you to intentionally examine yourself, okay? And you will be surprised what you gain. If you're finding it challenging to reflect, I would encourage you to consider asking outside sources. So tapping one of your trusted friends, someone in your circle, your sphere of influence, a family member, a friend, a coworker, someone you trust, If they were a part of the situation, you can ask them specifically. If they were not, hey, in general, how do you experience me? In general, how do I show up in the world? And see what they say to you. You will be surprised, and that will be a jumping off point for you to do your own intentional examination. Until next time, like, subscribe, comment, share, do all the things. Take care. Bye-bye.